Hi, and welcome to another edition of the Best Pictures. I'm one of your hosts, Joey Powers.
I'm Don Treadler. Welcome to the show.
All right, we finally hit Science Fiction Week.
Yeah, we realized, we haven't done a lot of science fiction on our show. So we thought, we have like when we talk about say like a star like Tom Cruise
Like
and talk about
certain
kids,
actor, director, right.
but we haven't really taken.
We haven't done an actual sci-fi episode where we just talked about nothing but science fiction.
Yeah. So I found this list. It was Rotten Tomatoes list of it was more than 100. I forget what it was called. 120 greatest science fiction movies. And I thought, well, let's go through it. And I looked at them. They had some pretty good stuff on there that was like piquing my interest. So I thought that would be a good show. But we're going to separate out some of the series because I didn't write down anything separate, say for like Star Wars.
Right.
Because to try to distinguish, we thought we'd do a whole show on just those series and things because there's a lot.
There's a lot of them, and there are a lot of popular ones.
Right.
So
yeah, what do you think? Okay, so when we talk about sci-fi, what movie comes to mind?
you know one that I don't know if you have on the Independence Day.
Independence Day, yeah.
I mean, I know that has a sequel too, but did you see the sequel?
No. What's it called? Independence Day 2?
Resurrection, I think.
Resurrection Day.
Yeah, Resurrection Day. Will Smith wasn't in it. Bill Pullman's about 90. Trying to think of who else is in it from the original. I don't, and it wasn't good. Let's just put it that way. I own it, and it took me a while to watch it, and then one day I was just like, I just got to take it off my list.
Right.
It's been sitting there for too long, and I mean, it's not terrible, but it's nothing near the original.
Right.
And it bombed at the box office. I think it made like $100 million. The original came out 20 years prior, and it made 400 just in America.
Wow, yeah.
It was one of the biggest movies ever when it came out.
I don't think I've seen it since it came out. I saw it in the movie theater. I think I saw it when in Brattleboro before they turned the movie theater into an Aldi.
I saw it in Brattleboro the night it opened, and I loved it. I thought it was really good. But also,
what about when you're thinking about that? How about District 9?
I haven't seen that.
Oh, I think what's his name? Neil Blomkamp?
I don't know. Is that the director?
I think so.
Oh,
I think that's his name. That was a really good one. That's a good one.
that was nominated for Best Picture.
Was it?
Yeah. I know
Was that when they expanded the lists to 10?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But still, that's still impressive.
Yeah, it's a real good. That was a real good movie. I like that.
What about Gravity?
Gravity, yeah.
Have you seen it?
Yeah, that's on the list. I saw it.
I can't watch that movie.
No.
No.
Fear of Heights?
Oh, yeah. I just saw the theatrical trailer, and I was like, I will never, ever, ever watch that. I was like, my hands were sweating just watching the trailer. And, like, there's one part where she just floats off, like, completely, and I was like, I am so mortified right now. I know this is fake, and it doesn't matter. I don't know what I would possibly do if that ever happened to me. Because how do you kill yourself when you're floating off into space? You kind of just got to roll with the punches and
right.
Hope you don't run into something. Or I don't know. That would just freak me out.
Can you imagine seeing it in a theater with the big screen?
Oh, no, that's what I mean. I will never, ever, ever. I mean, and she was acting the part of absolutely petrified from just the scene that I saw. But that was nominated for Best Picture. I think what's his name? Alfonso Cuarón or something like that. He won Best Director.
Yeah.
For that movie.
That was real good. Real good movie.
I just saw it on the list here. And
what do I have next to me? How about, did you ever see this movie Dark City? It's probably older than I think it is.
Is that Kiefer Sutherland?
Yeah, Kiefer Sutherland.
I've heard of it. I haven't seen it.
And the lead is, I can't remember his name. He's a British actor who's doesn't normally get the lead. Sometimes he plays the bad guy. I'm not going to be able to remember his name. It's pretty cool. It kind of goes along the lines of some of those other movies. Kind of a genre we've talked about before where they play with time.
Yep. Yeah,
so Dark City does that same type of a thing where there's a whole time element to the whole thing. That's really pretty cool sci-fi movie. It really has a different reality to the whole thing. That's pretty, and Dark City is a pretty well-regarded movie.
See, the problem with the list I have is it's definitely like 50-50 between sci-fi and fantasy.
Right.
Because Mary Poppins is not science fiction.
No.
Not even remotely close to science fiction. Beauty and the Beast isn't science fiction. So it's...
How about this? Here's a classic one, 2001, A Space Odyssey.
Didn't like it.
Didn't like
I
it.
didn't, and I love Kubrick, but I like the opening sequence with the music and everything. It was just too much, and I don't know. And plus, it's in space.
I should have watched it. I should have watched it before the show because I bought it. It was on sale at like Walmart or something for $5, and I was like, "That's a classic movie. I got to see it again."
Absolutely a classic movie.
So I bought that again. I'm kind of due to watch that again.
All right,
I don't know. I don't remember. I don't know if I would say that I thought it was a masterpiece because I'm trying.
A lot
to
of people
remember.
do consider it as a masterpiece. What about
Yeah.
A Clockwork Orange?
Oh yeah,
That's sci-fi.
yeah. I've got that on my list.
I
here, too.
actually just got that, and I mean he's creepy. You
Yeah.
know, what's his name?
Malcolm McDowell.
Malcolm McDowell. Yeah, he's excellent in that movie. You know, that's probably my favorite Kubrick movie. I mean, it's very over the top, but I liked it. What about The Martian? Have you seen that?
The Martian.
I've
Yeah.
heard a lot of good things about that movie.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I mean, and I think. What's his name?
Matt Damon.
Matt Damon. He's a pretty capable actor. Because it's pretty much it's I guess it's him, and they've got actors on Earth and stuff too who he communicates with. But I'm pretty sure he like loses communication with people, so he's got to survive on Mars by
So
himself.
he's lost in space. Therefore, he's a Martian up there because he's a human.
Right.
Got it. 'Cause I actually thought he was a Martian, and then I kind of like read the back of it, and I was like, oh, so he's like really a human. He's just a Martian because he's stuck on Mars.
Right.
That would kind of suck. I'd be so bored.
And he's there for quite a while too.
Yeah.
So
All right, this is one. See, another perfect example of fantasy. They have her on here.
hers on my list too.
That's not really science fiction.
I guess maybe because it has to do with
Oh, with like the operating device or whatever.
right, like the technology, the fact that he falls in love with.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Did you see it?
I didn't like it.
Oh, you didn't like
Remember,
it?
you told me about it. I love Joaquin Phoenix, and
Yeah.
I didn't care for it. I think it goes back to one of those things where there just wasn't enough happening for me. Like, I need something to keep my mind, like, keep my attention span. Otherwise, it just wanders, and then I forget what's going on. And then I have to rewind it, and then it's like, you know what? It's obviously not keeping my attention, so.
I liked it. I liked her. It's interesting because what it is somebody comes up with a system where for lonely people where they can have somebody that they're interested in, somebody to talk to on the computer, but it's a total artificial person.
Right.
And what happens is the main character falls in love with this artificial person.
Now, didn't he have issues with other relationships?
Yeah, he's
And
got
that
like a
was-
divorce.
Yeah, that was part of the storyline too, why he had that, because he felt like he needed companionship, but maybe not necessarily a human being, or was that?
Right.
'Cause
That's
that-
real interesting. It's a real interesting movie. I think that's another Spike Jonze movie.
Yeah, and that was Scarlett Johansson was the voice.
Right.
So I mean, it's a good cast. I mean, obviously I don't think you ever see her because she doesn't exist.
Right.
But I think the girl from the Social Network, Rooney Mara.
Yeah, that's
I
it.
think
I was going to say the dragon tattoo.
Yeah, her, yeah. So did you see they're doing a new one? And it's not Rooney Mara or Daniel Craig?
Yeah, weird.
The girl in the
probably
spider
not-
web? It's not Fincher either.
It's not Fincher either.
No,
So
because they had all agreed after the first one that they were going to bring them all back, and I don't know what happened there.
Yeah, so I'm not as interested.
Well, they're all a bunch of nobodies. I've never heard of anyone that's in the, to me, a selling point is either, an actor or a director or a series. Something that, like, I'm not gonna. No offense, I mean he's a famous guy, but I'm not gonna go see a movie just because Daniel Craig's a star. Like, he doesn't hold my interest that much. I haven't really seen him much as Bond. I heard he's great. Heard he's pretty psychotic.
He's decent. He's decent
Yeah.
as Bond.
But yeah, I'm not gonna go see a movie just because of Daniel Craig. However, if it was Daniel Craig, Rooney Mara, and David Fincher, I'm sold at Fincher probably anyway.
Right.
But the three of them all coming back, because the first one was definitely different. It was pretty graphic and just, it was definitely like strong, what's the word I'm looking for here? Like adult content,
Yeah.
I guess would be for lack of better word, because definitely. I'm not saying it's like NC-17 or unrated, but it's definitely like you're not gonna let Jake watch that.
No.
No, definitely not.
No, it's decent though. It's got that good Fincher feel to it. So I think like you say, I mean, if he were doing one of the other movies, it would be an instant draw. Even though, supposedly, I guess according to IMDb or whatever, his next movie was supposed to be the sequel to World War Z.
Yeah, and that's not happening anymore?
I don't know. I heard rumors about it that it fell apart. The whole thing fell apart or whatever. I don't know. I don't even know. I don't know if I would want. I guess I would want to see it because he's the director. Really?
Yeah, I would.
Speaking of which, just watched The Game, which you lent me.
Yeah.
It's another movie I should have brought to return to.
That's
you
a
today.
good movie. That's a really good movie. Michael Douglas.
Right.
Sean Penn.
Yeah, it's really got his stamp all over it.
It does. And that was one of his first bigger ones, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's probably right after Seven.
Yeah.
You know, so that's probably his third movie.
I think it's the next one. The only one I haven't liked is I didn't like Panic Room. I was not a big fan of Jodie Foster.
Yeah, I didn't. Do you know who the girl in that is? The young girl is the girl from the Twilight movies.
Oh.
Kristen Stewart.
Huh.
But I don't know. I watched some of it and I just couldn't get into it. You know, and that was one of his earlier works.
And I like Jodie Foster too. So I like him and I like Jodie Foster. Something about that movie just didn't do it.
Was Forrest Whitaker one of the bad guys?
Might have been.
I think he was.
It's been a long time since I saw it. How about this? Donnie Darko.
I haven't seen that since it
came out.
It was big. Like it wasn't like a huge, but it has a cult following.
It does.
You know, and it's got a really big, pretty big cast. You know, that's probably Jake Gyllenhaal's breakout role. But you also have like Drew Barrymore, you got Patrick Swayze, you got Jenna Malone. You know, they're all pretty big at the time. And Gyllenhaal, like I said, that was kind of his breakout role.
Right.
Weird movie.
And his sister Maggie plays his sister.
Maggie, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it is. It's a weird movie, but it's pretty good. I watched this, I say relatively recently. Within the past couple of years, I watched it again.
It's got a big-ass rabbit. It's just weird. It was not a bad movie. It was entertaining, but it was a weird movie.
Right.
Like, somebody...
That's one of my favorites. I like the weird.
I do, too, but that one's a little too weird. It's just... The giant rabbit just weirds me out. I don't know. It just...
Here's one that's on my list. It's on my list to see. It's one of George Lucas. I think it's George Lucas's first movie. THX 1138.
Never heard of it.
Yeah. It's on my list to see, and I think it's got Robert Duvall in it. I think that's one of the reasons I wrote it down. Or maybe or James Caan. It's got one of the guys that was in The Godfather.
Just adding another series that we should talk about.
Oh yeah, that was on here. I just held off. I didn't know how many there were.
What about Big?
Oh, Big. I wouldn't have thought of that as science fiction.
I think that's more of the fantasy that they're thinking. Excellent movie, though.
Here's a movie that's relatively new. Snowpiercer.
I haven't seen it.
And it keeps coming up.
But I haven't seen it.
Keeps coming up to see. That's a pretty good one.
So I had to take, when I was in college, I took film school, and we had to watch a lot of classics and stuff. And this one actually had a remake with Keanu Reeves, but what about The Day the Earth Stood Still? Did you see the original from 1951?
Oh, yeah.
That's a really good movie. You know, there are movies in that film class that I would have never watched if I wasn't forced to. And, I mean, that was one. And another one that's on this list, The Battleship Potemkin. Me watching a silent movie just... Again, it goes to the whole attention span, but it's about a mutiny on a submarine, and it was great. It was a really good movie, and so was The Day the Earth Stood Still.
Yeah.
And when I saw Keanu Reeves was doing a remake, I was like, I'm gonna pass. I was like,
Is it out?
Oh God, it came out like 10 years ago, probably.
The Day the Earth Stood Still.
Yeah,
with Keanu Reeves.
It's him and Jennifer Connelly.
Oh wow.
I mean, I'd go see it for Jennifer Connelly because she's a cutie, but.
It must not be very good because it totally passed me. I didn't even know there was a remake.
Keanu Reeves in a freaking remake of a classic.
And when I saw this, I thought to myself, gee, I wonder if they remade this. Because they did remake War of the Worlds. And somebody put it on like one of their best, forgotten movies. Uh-huh. It's Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise, Dakota Fanning, Spielberg directed it.
Yeah.
Did you see it?
No.
I saw it.
I think I saw part of it.
It got huge ratings by a lot of people.
Like the very beginning, and he starts taking off, he starts running.
I mean, I liked it, but I didn't like it the way other people liked it. They're like, oh, this is the movie of the year. It's one of the best sci-fi movies of all time. I was like,
yeah.
I don't think so. I mean, the ships and stuff were cool, but
Definitely gets a thumbs up though.
oh yeah, I would recommend
It's
watching.
worth seeing. All right, I think I might see that.
I have it.
Um,
I didn't see the original, but I saw the remake with George Clooney, Solaris.
Solaris.
It was
yeah.
Clooney and his director that he always works with, the Ocean's director, Soderbergh, Steven Soderbergh.
Oh right, and it was originally a Russian movie.
I didn't like it.
You didn't like it.
No, I couldn't watch it. Again, it goes back to the whole space. You know, I don't know, like being in a ship and they're like they can't go anywhere. It's like, you know, I have a problem with what's it called when you're stuck somewhere and you can't, claustrophobia. Like I have to have my space, and so
I've tried to watch this movie too. It's at my house. My girlfriend has it, so I want to watch that one of these days.
what, Solaris?
Solaris, yeah.
Yeah.
I think she's got the George Clooney one.
Yeah, the original was 76.
Well, so speaking of like film school, how about this one, Metropolis?
I haven't seen that. I didn't realize it was that old.
Somebody did like a, I think they did an anime version of it.
Yeah, I think they
Colin,
did.
Colin
I think,
doesn't know.
I think Keanu Reeves is in that too. I think like Robert Downey Jr. I think that's the one I'm thinking of.
Boy, I'm looking at all these different ones. E.T. E.T. Is that another Spielberg one? Is that one of the best?
Yeah. That's gonna be pretty high up there on the list. I
It
think.
was huge when it came
It was.
out.
I went and saw it. I was 3, and I died when I thought E.T. I cried when I thought E.T. died initially, but he didn't die. So it was a happy night.
So we're spoiler alert
Yep.
in a good way.
Yep. I mean,
think
anybody that doesn't know the end of E.T. probably isn't gonna watch it by now
Right.
because it's been out for so long.
Show it to your kids.
But that's an absolute classic. I mean,
I think I was telling you this story that I went to see E.T. when it came out, and it was such a huge hit, had big lines, it was sold out, that I didn't get to see it originally, and I ended up going next door to see John Carpenter's The Thing.
Oh, you did tell me that. There's a vast difference in those two movies.
Right.
A family movie and The Thing.
I think it was during the summertime, too, because E.T. probably was released as a huge summer.
Oh, yeah. Probably like Memorial
Summer.
Day, 4th of July weekend, one of those.
So we were all in shorts and everything, and the air conditioning was blowing on us. And The Thing takes place in Antarctica. If you haven't heard me talk about this already, it takes place in Antarctica. So we're sitting there in the air conditioning in our shorts, and we're freezing, watching this movie about Antarctica. And The Thing had, at the time, they were cutting edge special effects.
Right.
So it was fantastic. Have you seen it?
I have seen The Thing, yeah.
Have you seen the other ones, the newer ones?
No.
Did we talk?
I
I'm
just
sure
saw
we
the one with
talked about
Kurt
this.
Russell and the Quaker guy.
Yeah, the newer one, I don't think you're missing anything.
No.
To tell you the truth, it's the kind of the prequel to that story. But I just watched The Thing again because I bought it. I found it on Blu-ray, and I bought it and I watched it with my son and my girlfriend. It was good. I mean, that must have been the 3rd or 4th time I've seen that movie. It's like riveting. It is still has the right effect. And while we're talking about John Carpenter, let me throw this other one. They Live.
That I have not seen.
Oh, I saw it on somebody's list that they thought it was like, it might even be on this list somewhere. They Live. It's about, when I tell you who stars in it, you're gonna be like, what? Rowdy Roddy Piper.
Oh, God.
But
Oh,
I love it. I mean, outside of that, which is a little bit ridiculous, right? He's like this down and out. Is he like a homeless guy? Well, anyway, they stumble onto this whole thing where he's in like a homeless camp, and somebody says if you put on these sunglasses, you can start to see through, and you can tell the aliens from the humans. He's got a line in it. He goes into a bank with a shotgun, and he announces, okay, now imagine Rowdy Roddy Piper saying this. Okay?
Oh, I'm prepared for the worst.
He walks in. This is like one of the all-time like movie lines. He goes, "I'm here to kick ass and chew bubble gum, and I'm out of bubble gum."
That is so lame.
It is. It's an incredibly lame. I love that movie.
I kind of want to see it.
You got it.
I kind of want to see it.
I love that movie. When I saw it, it's John Carpenter. It's and he gets in a fight. This is so funny. He gets in a fight with Keith David. You know Keith David, right?
Yeah.
Keith David's also in The Thing. We were just talking about this because Keith David now does a lot of voiceover work. So you don't see him as much, but you hear his voice a lot. Does commercials, stuff like that. So anyway, Rowdy Roddy Piper gets in a fight with Keith David. And Keith David at the time, I mean, this was like the 80s, so he was a lot younger. He's a pretty big guy. So two of these guys get in a fight, and it's not just a fight. It just goes on and on and on. And the great thing about it is that Rowdy Roddy Piper's character is trying to convince him that this thing with the sunglasses is really happening. And Keith David just is like, you're out of your mind. He thinks he's out of his mind. So they get in a fight, and they're basically fighting for their, I don't know if I would say fighting for their lives, but they're both really committed. It's a cool movie. I think you should see it.
Sounds absolutely terrible. Which means I'm sure I'll enjoy it.
Maybe you'll hate it.
I doubt it.
Go in with low expectations.
Yeah, I am going in with low expectations. Anything starring Rowdy Roddy Piper.
But you can't get let down by this.
You know what's so funny is, when was the last time you mentioned Rowdy Roddy Piper before today?
Probably never.
I just saw an episode of, what's it called? Storage Wars, where he was on it. And he was dressed in a kilt and playing the bagpipes for some guy at an Irish bar.
Oh, my word.
Like 2 days ago. And I haven't seen or heard of Rowdy Roddy Piper in eons.
I think he died.
Did he?
Yeah, relatively recent, in the last couple of years.
Oh, I didn't know that.
We could call it to Colin. He might know, but
Colin doesn't know anything.
We could look up. I think he's gone now.
That's too bad. Rowdy Roddy Piper was awesome.
Let's see. What about some other ones?
They have a babe on here. Once again, that's got to be fantasy. The one about the pig?
The pig?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's got to be
That's fantasy. That's not
sci-fi.
science fiction.
How about this one? You ever hear this movie called The Congress?
Nope.
It stars Robin Wright. And it was at the end of this list, but they really felt like it was a pretty good movie.
I like Robin Wright.
Yeah.
She's a good actress.
Well, there's They Live. It is on my list. What about this one? I've been trying to get a couple of these last movies from David Cronenberg. Do you know David Cronenberg?
Oh, yeah.
Videodrome? Did you see Videodrome?
No.
That's a weird movie.
I think the last one of his I watched was Eastern Promises.
Well, he's got some newish ones. Eastern Promises might have come after this, but I'm looking for this movie called Existence, which I haven't seen. And then I've got the one Metropolis with, what's the guy's name? He was in the Twilight movies. Robert Pattinson. So Robert Pattinson.
I was thinking
in
Twilight
Metropolis.
Zone.
Then there's one called Map of the Stars, which I bought, and it's sitting in my house. I still have yet to see. But anyway, Videodrome made this list. He made a lot of these science fiction movies. Videodrome, Scanners. Did you ever see Scanners?
Yep.
Where they had the ability to blow up each other's heads.
All right, this is one I think we've talked about, and I mentioned that I wanted to see, and I still forget to see it, is Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Yeah.
I keep forgetting to put that on top of Netflix. I should just check and see if it's streaming.
Yeah, I don't want to blow it up too much for you.
I want to see it because I liked the concept.
Yeah.
It's original. And that's, what's his face?
Jim Carrey.
Well, the writer, though.
Spike Jonze, or...
Was that Hoffman? Charlie Hoffman? Kaufman?
Yeah, maybe that's his Kaufman.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really interesting movie. I think it's worth watching. I put it on my list. If you guys haven't seen it, go ahead and see Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. It's I think Jim Carrey's real good in it. I think it's just real good, interesting movie.
What about Source Code? Is that one
Source
that's
Code.
time travel?
Yeah, that's Jake Gyllenhaal.
That's Jake Gyllenhaal, yeah.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I haven't seen that.
I enjoyed it. It's another one of those. See, now we can get into that little genre, because if we look at this, there's a bunch of these movies where they play with time. I wonder if we talked about this on air.
No, we have a little bit. But no,
you have Inception.
You got
Source Code.
Isn't there a train one with Chris Pine and
Edge of Tomorrow?
Chris Pine and Denzel? Is that not a...
Oh, I haven't seen that one.
Okay. It might not be a time one. It might be just something else altogether.
There's the Edge of Tomorrow where Emily Blunt, Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise, yep. I was going to actually ask you about that because that's on here.
There's the Adjustment Bureau.
Yep, Matt Damon. Oh, another Emily Blunt.
Emily Blunt, yeah. So there seems to be like there's a... I don't know, their own kind of like genre of playing with time.
I think it's kind of cool.
And even that movie I mentioned before, Dark City, has this element of playing with time. There's a big thing with clocks and stuff in it. But that one that's a really interesting. Looper, my understanding, Looper's the same thing,
yeah.
Because Bruce Willis comes
Joseph
back.
Gordon-Levitt is Bruce Willis. Like, Bruce Willis is the older version of Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Now, who travels time? Is it Bruce Willis that travels to go back?
I'm not
or
sure.
Or Joseph Gordon-Levitt travels to go meet Bruce Willis?
I'm not sure, but there's actually another one now that I think of it, Minority Report. It's kind of along that lines, isn't it? Tom Cruise.
Oh my God! Would you believe I've seen it and I can't remember?
Colin Farrell. That was a Spielberg movie.
Oh, I need to see it. I need to see that one again, I guess.
Yeah, I haven't see. I don't remember it either because I saw it when it came out, and that was like 2002, maybe 2003. So it's been a while.
So there's a lot of these. I wonder if it has to do with our times. What about here? Let's throw this out. We can be totally controversial, right? When we're talking about science fiction movies or science fiction in general, sometimes it's said that a concept will get released to make it kind of acceptable to people ahead of time. So do you think the fact that there's all these movies and things having to do with time, maybe there's an ability out there to mess with time and they're trying to make us used to it ahead of time?
Who knows? Maybe. Maybe that's the government's plan. It's like, here, let's do all these movies to get people kind of used to the concept. And then be like, guess what? It's reality.
Because I bet I'm trying to think of a good example of something like that. Here's a wild one. Here's a movie that's on this list. The Man Who Fell to Earth. Where did I put it? Anyway, it's on this list. The Man Who Fell to Earth with David Bowie. Have you seen that movie? It's Nicholas Rogue. Anyway, it's an interesting movie. What happens is this guy comes from another planet. And he lands on Earth. And he has something like 7 basic patents. And he goes to sell these patents for these different things. One of them is like, instead of records, it's a ball. And you put it on and the ball spins and it plays music. Well, here's something wild. He has the disposable camera that basically you take the pictures and you throw the camera away. And it came to be. Not only did it come to be, it came to pass. So that now you can't even find disposable cameras.
Right, yeah. No.
Well, maybe you can. I don't know. Maybe they still use them for weddings or whatever, but I doubt they do it anymore.
Yeah, everybody uses their phone nowadays, it seems. So.
Right? So, I mean, there's...
No, that is an instance of something that did kind of happen, so that's kind of cool.
I forget what some of the other patents were. I'd have to watch the movie again. So it's an interesting movie, and it's interesting. I don't know. Have you seen David Bowie in many movies?
I think the only thing I saw him in was Labyrinth.
Oh, I don't even know. I don't think I've seen that movie.
That was the only movie I knew he was
Supposedly
actually...
people liked it, though.
I liked Labyrinth. I haven't seen it since I was a kid. I was like not even in double digits in age. It was a long time ago. But it was different. But there's a movie I wanted to mention, even though I don't think it qualifies, because I know Colin will appreciate it. Number 3 on this list is Wonder Woman. So I still haven't seen it, but very high on this list. It gets a 93% approval rating.
Really?
Yeah, and it's got 397 reviews. So it's very, very highly reviewed and very well reviewed. I still don't think it qualifies as sci-fi, but
Wonder Woman?
no. It still gets a good approval on Rotten Tomatoes, though.
Definitely nothing to do with science.
No, I didn't think so.
You didn't like it?
No, he loved it.
I love the movie. It's not sci-fi.
It's just not sci-fi.
You loved the movie. Yeah, it's just not sci-fi.
Yeah. But I just had to bring it up because I know how much he likes it.
I wasn't really in love with that movie.
No?
I'm in the minority for that one.
I kind of like her, though.
Do you?
She's a cutie. I don't know.
I don't know. My girlfriend is kind of a Wonder Woman. I don't know if you knew this. You know what I did this weekend?
Oh, marathon.
I ran in the half
did
marathon.
see that. I saw the pictures. You were wearing a Mets shirt.
Yeah. Where'd you see the pictures?
On Facebook.
Oh, wow. Well, anyway, my girlfriend finished like 20th.
Wow.
She finished 20th. I finished 51st. So that's...
Yeah, but you're not a runner, though.
No.
And she is.
I just started this year.
So, yeah. So, no, good for you. I mean, you finished. You didn't drop dead.
No.
You know, that's always a bonus.
That was my thing. I was going to push it, you know. If I died, I died. And then it'd be like, my feeling was I don't deserve to live. If I can't
do this marathon, then I'm checking out early.
I trained all summer long, so she can do stuff like that. She was able to go out there, and I don't think she trained as hard as I did. I think she did almost. We almost ran on the same days, but somehow I don't think she trained as hard as I did, and she was able to like crush it. She didn't even see me. This is pretty funny. There was a point where there's like a figure 8 in the course, where I was coming through Saxton's River and kind of crossing through town, and she was coming down Main Street going the other way. And just as I was coming, I could see her. And I thought, I'm going to intersect with her. So I sped up to catch up to her and high-five her. And she didn't even see me. She ran right by me.
Shot down.
Bright orange shirt.
That's hilarious. Did you have a good time though?
It was good. I mean, now that it's over, I'm glad I did it.
Glad you did it, right?
Because it was.
Wow, would you do it again?
I want to do it next year. I want to train up and see if I can beat the time that I put down this year.
Because I mean, in October the D5K is coming up, and that one's all there. That one's like not on. It's like in the woods and up hills and.
Oh, is it?
I filmed it a couple times.
Oh, yeah, it's up hills and everything.
Oh yeah, it's.
Oh, because when I saw that 5K, I thought, well, I could do 5K. I just did 13 miles.
Yeah, this one's a real deal. It goes for a good cause too, so you should look into it. It's in a couple of weeks. It's in like
yeah, it is October.
Yeah, it's October. So.
Well, cool. Let's pick out some more of these. Now we were talking about classic ones. What about Invasion of the Body Snatchers?
I haven't seen that in a long time either.
Yeah.
Since I was a kid.
I saw the one with Donald Sutherland, which was a remake.
That's the one I saw too.
And interestingly, it had I'm not going to remember the guy's name. The star of the first movie. I can't think what the guy's name is. Anyway, he makes an appearance because I think they did the original one in the 50s. They did this one in the 70s. And he's running through the city and Donald Sutherland accidentally hits him with the car. I can't remember what the actor's name is. McCarthy. Kevin McCarthy. So that's worth seeing. And I don't know how you feel about watching. Like, this is an especially, I think, difficult genre to go back and watch old movies. Your suspension of disbelief has to be off, you know?
Yeah.
But,
because technology's just changed so much,
yeah.
you know? It's like, you're talking about 40 years ago. Imagine what we can do now that we couldn't do back then.
Yeah, no kidding. And
You know?
now you're talking about 60 years ago, Invasion of the Body Snatchers and some of these movies.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, if you're into that and you can suspend your disbelief, that's a really good one. I have another movie on here from that time. Another classic one. Forbidden Planet.
I've heard of that, but I haven't seen it.
I can't even talk about it. I haven't seen it either.
me
But it's
neither.
another classic one.
A classic one that I was looking at, it's technically got a sequel in a remake, but I feel like this one blows them away, so Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters.
You know, that's a classic.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, Ghostbusters 2 was stupid. I didn't even see the remake. I don't know if you saw the remake or not.
No, I avoided it.
Did you see 2?
No, I don't think I saw 2 either. I don't think.
It was pretty awful. You know.
I try to usually stay away from sequels unless the word is good on
Unless
it.
it's maybe like a trilogy or something, and you know that they're extending the story. And
Right. Well, who was in the second one? Was Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd? They were all in it?
yeah,
Oh,
I even think Sigourney Weaver was in it.
wow.
That I might be off on, but yeah, all the other guys are in it.
Here's one, Avatar.
Started watching it, have an issue with long movies.
Oh.
Again, the attention span. It's terrible, Don, I'm telling you.
I want to see Avatar again, and I wanted to see it on the big screen, and I missed it. That's one I really wish I'd seen on the big screen.
They're filming a couple of sequels right now. They might even be done filming, I'm not sure.
I don't know. I mean,
Cameron takes forever to film stuff.
so Cameron's doing a sequel.
Yeah.
Oh,
2.
that might be
I think he's doing 2 and 3 all at once.
A lot of people, I don't know, word of mouth now. I think people don't really like Avatar, but I could definitely see it again. But I'd like to see it. If I see it again, I want it on the big
It
screen.
was huge when it came out. I mean, it broke the record for the biggest box office of all time.
I was pretty blown away by
I mean,
it. I thought it was cool.
You know, they don't count for inflation and stuff, but
What about Blade Runner?
that was good. I haven't seen the remake.
You haven't seen the newest one?
No.
The newest one isn't a remake.
Oh, no, it's not. Is it a prequel or? Or is it a
No, it's
sequel?
more like a sequel because Harrison Ford is.
Oh,
in
that's
it,
right. And he's old.
but he's older.
Yeah. Okay.
This one is Denis Villeneuve, which is interesting. He's an interesting director. He did that one you lent me, Prisoners.
Oh, right.
Right, yeah. So this movie, God, it was visually beautiful. It was breathtaking. It was kind of like mind blown. Something happened about like 3/4, 4/5 of the way through the movie. I just lost interest. I don't know if I just lost steam. I was too tired. The movie was too long. I don't know. I could watch it again. Like I say, it's got, what's his name?
Ryan
Gosling.
He's good.
Like I said, this movie was really good. First half of this movie, first 3/4, drew me right in, and then I kind of faded. There was like a fight scene on a subway car, and by that time I was like, nah, enough. I gotta go home. I go to bed.
Another one that's a series, but I don't know. I feel like it's a movie kind of like that, where you don't expect it to be as good as it is. And then it got like huge reviews, and a lot of people actually thought it should win Best Picture that year. Was Mad Max Fury Road?
Yeah. Did you see it?
I did not.
Oh, I should. Do you have it?
No.
Oh, I should lend it to you. I
You
got
should,
it.
because I would watch it. I'm a big Tom Hardy fan, and I like Charlize Theron.
Let me make a note.
But,
I'm gonna make a note so that I remember to.
So many people talked about how great that movie was, and they thought, who is it? George Miller? Is that the director's name?
I think so. Yeah.
Should have won Best Director, and it should have won Best Picture, and she was nominated for Best Actress. And to me, that's not typically a movie that gets nominated for Oscars. So that really kind of goes to show how good of the movie it probably really was.
Yeah, I don't really understand that. I went to see it in the movie theater. I thought it was fine. Thought it was a good movie. I didn't realize after the fact everybody just was like, "Oh my God, it's the greatest thing since sliced bread."
Yeah.
I was like, "It was okay. It was a Mad Max movie."
Well, that's kind of my interpretation. I was like, I've seen the originals. I was
Yeah,
like, hey,
it's like that.
yeah.
It's as good as the original.
See, I
I'll put
don't
it that.
see the originals getting nominated for all these Oscars and stuff and getting all these accolades.
Yeah, I don't understand it. Let's see. I'm trying to find some other ones that we talk about. Inception. You really liked Inception.
I
I'm not
really
as
did
high
like
on that
Inception.
movie.
I really did.
That one, for some reason, I'm not as. I don't know. I think it was that whole plot of having to go back and go in. It was almost like, to me, like going underwater or through tunnels or something. It was like, wow. What about Arrival? Another Denis Villeneuve movie with
Amy Adams?
Amy Adams.
Haven't seen it.
Real good.
I think that was nominated for Best Picture.
Yeah, it's low key. It's not like I don't know how to explain it. It's not an action movie, but I think it's really
That's
interesting.
her, Jeremy Renner,
Right.
Forrest Whitaker, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, it's real. I liked it. I thought it was real good. Not a lot of action for anybody out there. We're talking sci-fi movies, so a lot of times they tend to have a lot of action. This one's more dramatic. I guess that's kind of the way to put it. How about this one, Ex Machina? I think it's another one. It's got to do with they create an artificial woman. I haven't seen it, so I've only seen the coming attractions. Looks good.
Yeah.
And the word on it is real good. How about this, Children of Men?
I was going to ask you about that because I actually got that from the library one time and never...
It's good.
It's Clive Owen?
Clive Owen and
Monica Bellucci, Paul Giamatti. Is that the right movie? Am I thinking of something else?
You might be thinking.
I think I'm thinking of
I think
something
it's
else.
Clive Owen.
I think it's
you're
Clive
right.
Owen and Julianne Moore.
Julianne Moore.
Yeah,
That's exactly.
I'm thinking of
what it
another Clive Owen movie.
is. Yeah, it was good. That's another good. What else have I got on this? I'm trying to find some that I haven't seen here. To ask you, The World's End.
I have that. And haven't.
What is that? Oh, you don't know?
I know what it's about. It's a bunch of comedians that they're like getting attacked by like Martians or zombies or something, and so they're going to this bar called The World's End.
Oh,
And that's as far as I've gotten with reading the back of the title, but it looks funny. It was like $3 at the place down here that was closing. I was like,
it made the list.
I'll get to it eventually.
Oh, speaking of comedy ones, how about this? Galaxy Quest.
Tim Allen? I haven't
seen
seen
it?
that. I haven't seen it in a long time.
I haven't either. And when I brought it up, somebody said, "Yeah, it's really good." I was like, "Wow."
Somebody got excited over What about Starship Troopers?
I've never seen that one.
I haven't either.
I've seen bits and pieces of it, and I want to see it. It's on my list to see. Gattaca. Haven't seen that in a long time. That's oh shoot, I can see the guy's face. Ethan Hawke.
Ethan Hawke's
Uma
good.
Thurman.
So that was pre-divorce, I take
Real
it?
good. Sunshine?
That was good. That's Danny Boyle.
Yeah. So it's real good.
Yeah,
That's good.
Danny Boyle's. I told you I bought Slumdog Millionaire again, right? And I just haven't watched it again yet.
Mm-hmm.
Because now a lot of people got me convinced that I'm wrong.
We talked about it at work today.
Oh, really?
And somebody said they really liked it. And another person was like, that it didn't do it for them?
That's how I just think it was just so built up. Because when it's a best picture winner and it also does well at the box office, that's generally a sign that it's a pretty good movie. Because it doesn't. A lot of the best picture winners are generally like movies that are only shown in like limited release and stuff like that. You know, like movies like Howard's End, stuff like that don't get huge Hollywood releases.
Yeah.
And Slumdog actually got a pretty good release.
I don't think that's a movie you can get bored at. He keeps it. It's Danny Boyle. He keeps that thing moving. I've watched it twice, and I got to tell you, I enjoyed watching it both times. I mean, and I'm not somebody that watches a lot of movies 2 and 3 times. Sometimes I'll watch them years apart, but this one, this was a good movie.
So it gets 91% on Rotten Tomatoes.
I agree.
That's pretty high. So I mean,
I really liked it. Well, matter of fact, we were talking about that movie, and another movie came up called Lion with Dev Patel. Dev Patel. He was the head guy from Slumdog Millionaire.
Yeah.
What happens is there's a little kid, and he winds up getting lost in India, and he can't find his way home, and he winds up in an orphanage, and then he gets adopted by a family in Australia, and he goes back to Australia. The family brings him up. He's successful. He goes to college, but it drives him crazy, and he's got to look for his family. And he starts to like remotely try to track his family on the computer. Oh, it's a decent movie.
Like Lion, like Lion.
Right. Real good. What about here? Terry Gilliam, Brazil. Did you ever see that? That's kind of a wacky movie.
I want to say I have.
Anthony
Gilliam's
Price.
kind of wacky too, though.
This is a wild.
Well,
Terry
what about
Gilliam.
12 Monkeys?
12 Monkeys.
That's another Gilliam movie.
I love that movie.
That is a very odd movie, but it is a very, very good movie.
It was brought up as one of Brad Pitt's, could be one of Brad Pitt's best performances.
It was his
in
first
12
Oscar
Monkeys.
nomination, you know. And Bruce Willis, Madeline Stowe, you know, it's a good cast.
Yeah.
And that was when Brad Pitt was really starting to become a household name.
That was a movie that it's an R-rated movie. I showed it to my son because it doesn't have a lot of foul language.
There's no nudity.
It doesn't have any nudity.
No.
It doesn't. The only sexuality is, I think, the Madeline Stowe character thinks that Bruce Willis is going to rape her, which he doesn't.
Right.
He doesn't have any interest in doing that. He's got some other thing going on, and there's a little bit of violence in it where I think Bruce Willis pulls out one of his own teeth, and he stomps this guy and crushes his head. That's the worst.
That's not too bad.
No. Compared to a lot of movies, this was no big deal.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I let my son see it several years ago. Real good movie. I don't know if we're running out of time.
There's something I was going to mention now. I don't remember.
Another good
what it was.
movie?
Yeah.
All right, we talked about Source Code and Solaris.
I lost it.
How about Annihilation?
Haven't seen that either.
I don't know what that is.
I don't either.
I don't know what to talk about some of these other ones.
What was the movie? I just had one.
Here's Cronenberg, The Fly.
That's good.
It was a huge hit when it came out. Did you see it?
Yeah, that's Jeff. What's his?
Jeff
face?
Goldblum.
Goldblum and Gina Davis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do
Yeah, that
you
was
think?
good.
I haven't seen that in a long time. I wonder if the special effects hold up on that movie.
Probably not. I mean, that was what, mid '80s, early '80s.
Yeah.
Yeah. 'Cause I saw it when I was younger. I probably shouldn't have seen it when I saw it.
It was awesome.
It was a really good movie, but it was kind of disturbing for a kid my age. I think I was like 6 or 7.
Right.
You know.
And that was a remake of one from the, I want to say 50s, 60s.
Yeah.
It was a color movie with Vincent Price. And at the end of the movie, now in those cheesy 50s special effects, it's got a fly that's caught in a spider's web, but the fly has a man's head. And it's yelling, "Help me! Help me!" Cheesy special effects, but it was kind of a good movie at the time. People liked it.
All right, what about Pan's Labyrinth?
Pan's Labyrinth.
Have you seen that?
Yeah.
And
Have you?
no.
Oh. I own it.
Okay.
All right, I'm writing it down. Another movie. Because I got to give you some of these movies to see.
All right, another one that I know you've seen that I will not watch because it's subtitled The Shape of Water.
The Shape of Water.
That's sci-fi, really, right?
Yeah.
It sounds like it's
Yeah,
sci-fi
definitely.
by the description, yeah.
Definitely, yeah, because they find the creature.
Yeah, it's like a military experiment, right?
I forget how they found the creature. But anyway, the creature winds up in a laboratory, and then the woman is like a janitor. And she meets the creature and develops a relationship with him. Yeah. But you won't see it.
No, I mean,
I didn't think it was subtitles, is it?
Yeah, because she's a mute.
Oh.
And so all of her stuff is subtitled on the screen. Because I got it from Netflix and I started to watch it and I was like, no.
Oh.
It's like, this isn't going to happen.
I watch everything with subtitles.
I can't.
Even stuff that isn't.
Maybe I should get
subtitles.
medication for my problem here because it's a lot of movies I can't
So
watch.
you're not going to get to watch the one I just watched, City of God.
Oh no, I told you I couldn't.
It's from Brazil.
I wanted to watch it when it first came out and my best friend was like, you can't watch that. He's like, you don't have the attention span, dude. It's all subtitled.
I couldn't keep up. I couldn't keep up with everything on it either. But I mean, it was a pretty good movie. I don't want to say it's number 20 on IMDb's list of the best movies. I don't know if I would call it number 20. It certainly is a good movie. I don't know if I would say it's a great movie. I mean, it's probably an above average movie. That's what I would say about it. But I mean, you're talking about number 20. I mean, if you look on IMDb's list, I guarantee you're going to find movies that are. And here we're doing science fiction, but I'm so tempted to talk about this other film. Anyway, I should go through some of these. Let me look and see if some of these other ones you've seen. Galaxy Quest, we talked about. Moon, who with Sam Rockwell.
I haven't seen that.
It's like The Martian, where he's on the moon and he's by himself. Sam Rockwell, he just won Best Supporting Actor this year. And he's been somebody that's been kind of underrated. They've been kind of waiting for something to happen for him. RoboCop.
Oh wow.
Did you see the original?
Oh yeah.
The new one?
I haven't seen a new one. I saw all three, the first three. I mean, the third one, I think he starts flying. I'm like, come on, guys. But the first one's actually pretty violent.
First one isn't.
Like the scene where he gets killed or whatever, that's a pretty graphic scene.
Yeah, and they said it's one of the most disturbing scenes. Yeah.
It is. And I mean, I remember it clearly, and I bet I haven't seen it since I was in grade school. But it was very violent. But I liked it. It was an enjoyable movie. 2 was okay. 3, like I said, he starts flying.
Right.
It's like, we're good.
I saw the remake at Universal Studios.
Oh, really?
With my son.
That's cool.
And it's good, but I kind of knew what to expect. So trying to compare it to the old one, which I thought was pretty cool, Peter Weller.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess it's okay. It's worth watching. Here's one. James Cameron, The Abyss.
Oh, yeah. I haven't
Have you seen that?
Yeah. I haven't seen that in a long time.
That's one I own. I own some kind of special edition with different endings.
See, that's a good one to own a disc like that with all the special stuff. Because some movies, you don't need it. You know, like, I don't know, like, for example, like The Lion King or whatever. Do you necessarily need to have
alternate endings?
Yeah, they don't have interviews with Simba and Mustafa, it's like... But The Abyss is definitely a good one because that is a really good movie. That was another big budget Cameron movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The guy just likes to spend, and studios don't care because they make money, so...
A big part for Ed Harris.
Yeah. That might have been maybe his biggest role of his...
Could be, yeah, you're right.
Because, I mean, he's always never really the leading man.
Not usually.
He's, like Apollo 13, he's probably like the 4th or 5th guy in that movie. Stepmom, he's behind both female leads.
Gone Baby Gone.
Yeah, Gone Baby Gone, he doesn't have a big role at all, really.
He's not the lead guy in the movie.
No, it's Casey.
He's got a great part.
Casey Affleck and Michelle Monaghan are definitely the leads of that movie. Did I run that to you again to watch?
You did. I've got it to return to you. And it's one of these 6 movies that I have sitting in it. I should have remembered to take out of my house.
And what did you? I don't think we've talked since you rewatched it.
Oh, I liked it.
It's now All right, I know we're going off topic, but where does that rank in the Ben Affleck directed movies? So we got, well, you still haven't watched that other one, probably, man. Live by Night.
I haven't seen Live by Night yet.
But you got Gone Baby Gone. Then you got The Town. Then you got...
The one about the embassy.
Oh, yeah.
The one the Academy Award.
Yeah, the one Best Picture. Argo.
But maybe it's after Argo. This might be my second favorite Ben Affleck.
So you like Argo the best?
After Argo, yeah.
See, I like The Town the best. And then
Town's good too.
That's what I mean. I mean, he's got a pretty good sample size. So, yeah, no.
Has he bombed as a director?
Well, Live by Night did.
Live by Night was a bomb.
Yeah, well, I think the
And
issue...
you lent it to me. Is it a bomb?
I liked it. I mean, he got like a 7, I want to say.
Yeah.
Or 6 point something.
Well, that's pretty good for a bomb.
Yeah.
You kidding me? There's so many movies that fall below that.
It's just the studio just pushed it, like to death. And then it never really got a major release until like a month after they'd been pushing it. And by then people had moved on. So it only made like $8 or $9 million.
Wow.
You know, and that's when they ultimately took the Batman directing responsibilities away from
Affleck.
Ben Affleck.
Oh.
And it wasn't necessarily his fault. It was more the marketing campaign that just, you know.
Well, I don't know. I'll have to see it. It's kind of like Next. It's like up there. I'm always thinking about watching it.
Now, see, it only gets 35% here and a 5.3 out of 10 on Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh,
So-
yeah. Look at that. That's not very good.
No. Let's see the difference here between. But you got a couple more before we wrap up?
How about Ready Player One? Came out.
I have that at home. A coworker just lent it to me.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right. So that's.
She said it was really good. And so I said, bring it in and I'll watch it. Because I knew we were doing science fiction. So I was like, bring it in, I'll watch it. That way I could talk about it on the show. And I just haven't gotten to it yet.
Escape from New York, Snake Plissken.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen that movie.
No?
I just think I just have an awareness of it. What else is on here? 12 Monkeys. Dredd. Not Judge Dredd.
The remake.
The one that was with Sylvester Stallone and Wesley Snipes. But there's another movie, like a remake, called Dredd.
Yeah.
That supposedly is like a lost... it's like a classic. It's supposed to get really... people really like it.
You're talking about the remake? Or the...
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's supposed to be really good.
So an
So
IMDb,
I don't know about you people out
it
there.
gets a 6.4. So there's pretty big
6.4 is
discrepancy.
respectable.
Yeah. So,
There's a couple other ones I never heard of here before. Let's see. Midnight Special, Turbo Kid, Serenity, which somebody said it's the movie version of there was a television show.
I haven't heard of any of them. When you said Midnight Special, though, it made me think of Midnight Run.
Paprika, Time Crimes, Predestination. It's a whole bunch of these I haven't seen before. Prometheus. Have you seen Prometheus?
No. That's Michael Fassbender?
Yeah,
Charlize
Ridley
Theron?
Scott.
Possibly.
Yeah, I highly recommend
Is
that.
that part of the Alien movies? Or?
Supposedly, I don't see the link.
Okay, I know.
I suppose if I watched it and I studied it, but when I went to the movies, I had no idea.
You had no idea, and you didn't
The
come
only-
away from it thinking.
No, I didn't. The only link that there was Ridley Scott. So I went to see
Right.
the movie. I thought it stood on its own, and I thought it was thought-provoking, well done, well acted. Michael Fassbender.
Yeah, Fassbender's a
Charlize
good
Theron.
actor. Yeah, she's a good actress too. You know.
Yeah, real good. I highly recommend Prometheus.
We are running out of time.
We're running out of time.
So, do you want to come up with a topic for next week now, or do you want to wait?
I don't know. What do you got?
I
Any
don't
ideas?
think we want to do sci-fi necessarily 2 weeks in a row.
No, let's put it off, and then we'll do some of these serious ones.
Yeah.
Got any ideas for
I
next
don't
week?
know. I mean, we could do names from a hat again. We haven't done that in a little while. Or we could do, we could pick a year. We could pick a different genre.
That's a good idea. We could just pick some year.
Yeah.
Pick a random year right now. We don't know.
A random year right now? 1989.
1989.
Let's do 1989.
1989.
That's going to be
next
our
week.
show next week. So this has been Best Pictures. I'm one of your hosts, Joey Powers.
I'm Don Tretler.
See you at the movies.
See you at the movies. I got it right down.